Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
We're live.
We're live. We're live now.
It's all real. It's all happening.
It's all happening. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake. Welcome, everybody. We are back from AdeptiCon. As soon as I jumped on, Dave and I talked for like a minute or two before the show, and he's like, "Hank's already on here." I was like, "That's awesome. It makes my day."
Super cool.
Dave, what are we going to talk about? Did something happen this weekend? Was there something cool that happened?
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Is that we did this. Jake said, "I'm going to do this a little bit before the show," and then the first thing he says, "We're back from AdeptiCon."
I can't help it. It's the best. This is really nice, though.
Yeah. Oh, check that out. Oh, lovely.
The good stuff.
Lovely water bottle. Good job. Good job.
I mean, I love Roman stuff, and I love Undead, and I love Adepticon, so this is kind of like the perfect thing.
Yep.
And I love water, so...
You also enjoy water. You're vaguely interested in water as a human being.
It's survival-minded. It's survival-minded.
Survival. Yep, that's great. That's great. So, yep, Hank is here. Lee Hughes is here from the UK. Fantastic. Hi, Lee. Dave Hummel's here. Jez is here. Good evening, Jez. Dan Wood is here. He's here to see some of his photos. We've got Dan. I set up a Dropbox for Dan, and he delivered. He delivered for sure. Luis is here. Matt Bowles is here. Hi, Matt. Jonathan Palomo. We saw Jonathan at the show. Very cool. Chris Kemming is here. We saw Chris there as well. So if it's Jave and Dake, who would be which? Am I Jave?
Say that again. What did you say?
Dan was saying it's the Jave and Dake show.
Ooh, I want to be Jave.
You want to be Jave? Okay, radio. I'll be Dake. That's good. It's a little bit like Drake.
Yeah, I like it.
We are leaving. Fantastic. Jeff is here. I mentioned Dan Hummel. Patrick's here. Looks like we're all caught up. Looks like probably a few other people who haven't said hi in the chat. Feel free to drop that in there. But yes, I must admit, I was like, next AdeptiCon, we're not having a show directly after next AdeptiCon. We're taking a break.
Yeah, probably. Again, for anybody who goes, like, and I'm assuming a lot of these folks did, although we already know we're gonna have a bunch of guys that didn't go. That's why they're kind of catching up. But leaving on Monday, chef's kiss. I don't know why anybody, like, trying to bug out on Sunday is just, it's a nightmare. Like, there's too much stuff to do. There's too much stuff to see. And like, I know, like, I won't speak for Dave, but I know that I was swamped. Like, we had stuff all day, every day. And then every night we had stuff lined up. And then Sunday is a little more chill. Like, once the hall closes and you break down, it's like that. It's the first time where you get to go, oh, okay, I'm going to relax. There's no rush. Like, I'm going to go get something to eat. I hung out with, who did I get dinner with on Sunday night? I got dinner with Reese. I got dinner with Reese Knight.
Oh, cool.
And some of his coworkers. It was super fun. Like, we just hung out and chilled out. And then I went up and saw Hank for a bit at the after party. And then spent some time hanging out with like Tim Toolin and like a bunch of other creatives and stuff. And it was nice. It was a lot of like nice face-to-face kind of catch-up time without feeling like, oh, I got to get to this thing. So.
Yeah, for sure. Chris says we've had one Adepticon, but what about second Adepticon?
Yeah. Oh, Hank, let's do Hobbit style. We should do like 2 Adepticons.
That sounds a little bit scary. Oh my goodness. Brian Delaney is also here. Hola, Brian. And Super Dan Osborne has joined us. Dan Osborne is in the chat. It was awesome. It was Dan's first Adepticon. I think he had a good time.
So
Fantastic time.
I walked into the room and David said, Dan Osborne was just here. And I was like, should you introduce me to him? And he's like, no, it actually continues the joke that you and Dan Osborne have never like spoken or seen each other. And I was like, all right, cool.
Never been in the same room at the same time.
Right. We've never been in the same room, either virtually or in real life. So,
Jez says, you'd love where I live, Jake. It's at one end of Hadrian's Wall, the Roman Hadrian's Wall, and it rains all the time. It's full of ghouls and screaming ghosts at night. Or northerners.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Steven's joined us. Fantastic. Oh yes, Adepticon. The second Adepticon is actually Spray Team. So
is that second Adepticon or is that first Adepticon?
It's all the ancillary Adepticons.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Definitely good. And Patrick says, yeah, still mentally recovering from all the awesome at Adepticon. So totally cool. We would normally start here by saying how many games did we play any games or did we paint any minis?
We did.
We played games, but that I've got a whole bunch of photos coming up. So
okay.
I figure what we'll do is we'll just dive straight in. We'll also say hi to Josh. Josh has joined us from the.
Oh, nice. What's going on, Josh?
We got to hang out a bit at the show. Very cool. I think on Saturday night when we were playing our game, Josh asked me if I would play a game with him on Sunday. And Sunday night, I said yes. Sunday morning, I woke up and was like, "Oh, my brain is not in the right place to play a game today." So I had to decline. Next year.
Well, and then you had to leave. You said you left at like 2, right? Like 2 or something. You had to get to the
3.
All right.
Yeah. But and Josh says my voice is still destroyed from the fun. Oh man, yeah, he was sounding rough on Sunday for sure.
Yesterday, even now, my voice, my upper register is gone. So when I got off the plane, my wife was like, "Wow, your voice sounds really, really ragged." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been yelling in the vendor hall for 3 days, like doing demo games." So
awesome, very cool.
100% worth it though.
Definitely, without a doubt. We're super. As you can tell, even though I'm incredibly tired, like yesterday when I got home from my day job, I took a nap for 3 hours.
You worked yesterday?
I worked yesterday. Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, use a personal day.
I was in the office at 8, and I worked all day, got home at like 5:30 and fell asleep for 5 hours.
Dude, office jobs are for suckers. Like, no way. How do you use a personal day?
I was working today, but I was trying to work out how can I squeeze in a 45-minute nap before the show. It didn't happen.
See, my week worked out pretty good. So yesterday was a travel day. So even though my shop opens at like noon, by the time I landed, it was already like 1 something. Or it was like 12:30. So by the time I got out and like got outside and got on the Silver Line, which is like our local bus line, and then got to the train station, I didn't even get home. My wife picked me up, I think, at the train station at like 4 something. So if I had then like gotten home and showered and changed and gone back to work, I wouldn't have got to work till like 5 or 5:30.
Right.
And I was like, Ben comes in and closes. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I was like, I'm not going to work Monday. I work today. And then Wednesday is my natural day off.
Right.
So all I had to do was get through today. Like, and it was fine.
Nice. That's the way to do it. If you can. Yeah. I just don't have all that PTO stored up. But anyway.
All right. What do we got?
Let's jump in. I'm going to,
Chris says, I sound like a career smoker. Oh, thank you, Matt. Yeah, please take a moment and like today's stream. We figured out, Dave and I have been doing some behind the scenes, like looking, and the more interaction that the stream gets, like every time we get a like and a follow and a share, it like helps the ghost analytics that like run YouTube. So,
yep, absolutely. So, first photo that we've got up. So we'll just jump straight in. I think we've got like 60 images to go through, and that only covers like a tiny, tiny sliver.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
So first up, it's a photo of the Army painter booth. Super busy. on one of the days.
I see the wonderful cat right there giving you a hug. She gave me a great hug when she saw me. She was wearing our T-shirt.
Oh, nice. Yes, that was cool. I think that was, when was that? Was that Saturday? I think
it was. Yeah, it was Saturday. And then I see Patrick, or I see Phil, and I think that's Uncle Adam's head over your ear.
I think so. Yep, I think you're right there.
And then I see Adam back there.
Adam Abramovich. Yep. And then sitting down, sort of facing us in the burgundy shirt, is Tyler Mengel, who's their social media guru.
Did you hear the story about that kid?
Oh, I saw the picture on Facebook, I think.
So for anybody who didn't see it, that small 12-year-old with the blonde hair that's over Kat's shoulder, apparently he had saved up his money because he wanted to buy the new Speed Paints metallic set, and he didn't have quite enough. So Adam made him promise that if he used the money he saved to buy his 3 siblings ice cream, Adam would give him the set, because the kid was really bummed out and was going to ask his mom, and he was like, "You don't need to do that." So I was like, I thought that was awesome. I thought it was really, really cool, and that kid is going to remember that forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was super cool, and we are super grateful that the Army Painter is our season sponsor.
Absolutely perfect segue.
Yep, we had a great time. Had a great time chatting with folks that we knew. So I met Phil the Glacial Geek in person for the first time, which was awesome.
What a nice guy. What a nice guy.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll be talking to him later this year. Same with Eric from Eric's Hobby Workshop, and Thomas, the studio painter for the Army Painter, and also the guy who did like a huge chunk of the legwork for the new War Paints Fanatic range. So super cool to chat with them. I just noticed we've got Joe from Death Ray Designs is in the house.
And
Joe
Malev jumped on too.
Malev's here. Fantastic.
Oh, or is he? He is a shinobi, so I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, he signed that. That's cool. We'll talk about that later too. That'll be fun.
Later. Excellent. So yeah, super cool. Thank you very much, the Army Painter. And you had an awesome booth. We look forward to hopefully and we'll be working with the Army Painter team at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep. Yes, you can come see that. You can see me and Dave, and you can see all them at San Diego. I mean, you can see them at a bunch of shows. They do way more shows than we do, but yeah, we'll all be hanging out together at San Diego.
Yep.
Speaking of Fanatic, I got my first batch of the Fanatic Mega Paint sets, the kind of medium-sized one. They showed up today, so I think we had 3 or 4 guys pre-order them, so we sent out all their notices today. I think we have like 1 extra at the store right now, but I cannot wait for the rest of that stuff to show up. Yeah,
it's gonna be great next month. And then we're gonna try and have Kat and Caleb on next month as well.
Yep,
we're gonna talk a little bit more. Moving right along. So this is the area known as Fort Wapple, or the Hobby Lounge, or the Hobby Area. This is where I worked. Thursday and Friday mornings. There are 4 breakout rooms sort of around this area. This is underneath the escalators that go up to the lobby. And those breakout rooms are the where the instructors sort of perform their instruction. There are 8 other rooms, I think, that we used for seminars and classes. I had something like, I think, between 150 and 200 seminars going on over the course of the weekend. So for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So pretty amazing to coordinate all of that. So huge thank you to Damon Drescher and Charity Edwards, who put that program together. At this show, Damon announced that he was stepping down as the AdeptiCon Hobby Czar, and Charity is taking over that role. So all the instructors will be coordinating with her for next year, and she'll be putting together her awesome team of volunteers to help out as well. So definitely super cool. the idea here with Fort Wapple, I think we've mentioned it before, is that this is a place you can come down, you can sit down, do some painting. There are racks from different manufacturers around the room, different paint manufacturers where you can try out their paints. All you got to do is just put them back when you're done. Kit from Game Envy donated 25 lights. 25 Delucent lights. Which
those are all the ones down the middle of the tables. Like I noticed that the first day I went in, but that's super cool. Those lights are great.
Yeah. So everybody loved those, and it was a fun time. Jonathan Palomas just said my friend in Australia was saying he was looking for some kind of coverage of the show, and all he could find was vendors. Would have loved to see something about tourneys, Golden Demon classes, etc. Well,
maybe we can. Yeah, I mean, we're doing our best to recap it now, but
yep, we're doing that. So next up, one thing that when we had Dan Osborne on, Jake, we talked about. We had to look through a lot of the schedule for Nova and the hobby classes that they've got there, and one of them was color theory for the colorblind. So we talked about that. That Eric Swinson was running. He ran it twice. That class twice at AdeptiCon, and these are some of the examples of his students' work. So everybody in the classes was red-green colorblind. So
impressive.
He painted a bust and got them sort of copy along. And the main thing that he did was he gave them 4 colors each, so they mixed everything from those 4 colors, and he taught them how to use the palette space to sort of be very regimented and disciplined, and so they would know that if they were in the center, it was the sort of the most desaturated, lightest sort of part,
right?
And then as it worked further away from that, it would be more saturated color. So
that's pretty cool. I mean, it's probably something that, you know, anybody who doesn't have any kind of color blindness wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can see the difference, but that's not even something I would have thought of. So that's really, really clever. And it's really fun that he's trying to be super inclusive and make sure that everybody can paint. Because I mean, it is a hobby that everybody should be able to do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And finding those mechanical ways to around that hurdle is a great thing. So we've got those, and these were the sort of the red class. So if you do know somebody who is red-green colorblind and is going to be attending Nova, there are still spots in Eric's class or classes. I think he's running 2 classes there. And then at some point, I think I mentioned to Eric that it would be cool if we could teach a few other instructors this course as well, so that we could spread it to a whole bunch of different places. Very cool. Next up, we've got some photos of the tournament. So this is these are some photos, a couple of photos from the team tournament, the 40K team tournament, and also looking back into the vendor area.
I'm trying to think where this is. Oh, this is on the right side of the hall.
So this is on the far side.
Yeah, so for anybody who didn't go to AdeptiCon, when you go to the vendor hall, which is basically the hotel is kind of the right side of the building, and then the convention center is the left side of the building. So once you walk through all the halls, you come down the escalator where Fort Wapple is, which you just saw. You turn right, and then there's classrooms, and then there's like halls on the right along the sort of the causeway or like the main drag, and then you go into the vendor hall, which is this huge convention space, which if you've ever been to a convention, it's pretty much like the giant area you would expect. The right-hand side is all this kind of stuff. It's all tournament play, and it's all the organized events. And then the middle of the hall is the vendor hall. And at 6 o'clock when they close the vendor hall, they slide all these air walls in and they block it off. And then on the far left side, so the far end of this photo is the left side of the hall, which is all it was a lot of like the atomic mass stuff. So it's like they had X-Wing and Legion and Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol. It was all like the the Marvel and Star Wars games for the most part. There were some other stuff mixed in, but almost that entire half was the Atomic Mass type stuff.
Yeah. And here's another photo of the 40K team tournament. I snapped this one at the perfect time. Got the guy in the middle there, scratching his head, wondering what's going on. Which, whenever I played in the team tournament, that's exactly how I felt.
What's the guy scratching his head? Like, what do I do?
What's going on? No, the 40K team tournament is the first. So that has always been the sort of the signature event at AdeptiCon.
It's awesome. It's one of those things I wish my schedule would allow for me to play in the 40K team tournament.
Yeah, I think this year they had 125, 130 teams. So 500, 520.
That's a good chunk of people.
Yeah. So pretty crazy. And friends of mine won the Best Spirit Award. So Team Handsome.
Okay. Nice.
They've been going for years, absolutely years and years. But yeah, they won the Team Spirit Award, so that was very cool.
I think my buddy Jared won something. I will look it up while you're pulling up slides.
Yeah. Next up, this is the Schaumburg Ballroom, which is I think where they held the presentation for the GW reveals on Wednesday night. Then it was reset for the gaming. So this is where all of the there's like the Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, the Old World. There were loads and loads of battle tech going on. I thought I'd snap this photo for you, Jake.
Nice.
So yeah, there were a couple of rows of BattleTech grinder going on. I don't know what format that is, but
for grinder,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I have no idea what format that is.
Yeah. Just going back to that whole Jez, that's a big space. Yeah, that's about. I would say that's about 10% of the gaming space.
I think, is this the room? Oh no, it just looks the same. Like we played our game in a room like this.
Yeah, not quite as fancy as this one.
No, they got all those chandeliers. Pretty nice.
Yeah, but about the same sort of size.
So I just looked it up. So my buddy Jared and his friends, they won. They were the team tournament champions.
Oh wow! Okay.
So awesome. They won. They're I think they're the Tiki Gods.
Oh, okay. Radio.
They have their armies on parade. They have a surfboard that says like Tiki and all that stuff. And
right. Joe says classic grinder is essentially get a mech, jump in, blow up, get another mech ad nauseum.
Oh, nice. Right on.
Cool.
It's battle mech with respawn.
Yep. Jonathan Plomo says the board game library was also in the ballroom. I think you're correct, Jonathan. Sean has joined us. Hi, Sean. Welcome.
Welcome aboard. Oh, Leviathans.
So
great game. Great game.
Catalyst were running this awesome game of Leviathan. So this is from the walkway, taken from the walkway overhead.
The gentleman at the bottom left-hand corner with the BattleTech t-shirt on. That's Randall. That's Randall. Randall Bills. He's like the lead designer at Catalyst, and Leviathans is like his baby. Like he loves this game.
Yeah. Fantastic. James N. Hewitt was there. Nice. James is doing some work with Modifius at the moment.
That's a pretty sharp looking table, Dave.
It is a sharp looking table. It was super cool that he was there running a demo of the new Fallout game on that table. But yeah, super cool. James was involved with the latest edition of Blood Bowl, and I think Necromunda 2017.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, cool to see him there. This one I got from you, Jake.
Yeah, so this is I'm gonna screw up the name. Dan can probably, Chris can correct me. I think it's like the Taking of Phyrix.
Something like that.
It's something Phyrix. I think it's taking a fire. But so that's Chris Kemming, kind of front middle, wearing the Kathy Wapple T-shirt. This is such a neat event. So when I heard about this, I'm like, I'm running this at my store. This is like one of the coolest events I've ever heard of. So you see the layout of this table that they're on.
Yep.
So at the bottom, like where that guy's baseball hat is, there's like a silver sort of triangle looking thing.
Yep.
So that's the bow of the ship.
The prow.
And as you work, so then like that little platform that's right above it, that's the bridge. So that first segment is the bridge, and then you go back along the spine, and then there's like some little like landing bays, and you can see like the turbo lasers they have like kind of set up.
Yep.
Or I guess those would be like Lance batteries. I don't know. I'm not sure what they are. But as you work your way back, at the very back of the table, you see those round things. That's like that's the engine room, or that's the generatorium, and then the engines would be behind that. So, and then the other ship is the opposite. It's turned around, so you can see the point at the far end, where that guy in the gray shirt is that diamond thing, and then where the guy in the blue shirt is on the far right side of the picture, under him you can see those two like can things that are laying down. So that's the generatorium. So the idea is that it's an Imperial and a Chaos ship that have come parallel to launch broadsides, and then they launch boarding actions onto each ship. So it's the Imperials are trying to capture or wreck the Renegade ship, and the traders are trying to like scuttle the Imperial ship. What a wild game. It was so neat. You got to like teleport in, and you could do different effects, and super, super cool. I was like, it's one of the most fun things I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That is very cool. Is this before or after Chris dropped most of his teleported most of his army onto the bridge?
I think this is the second event.
Okay.
So the first event kind of prepped what was happening. So I think the first night you play as the defenders, and like so you're working to like defend your ship, and then depending on how you go, it kind of leverages what you can do. And then in this night, I think this is the second night. They're like Chris got to be an attacker, so all of his guys have teleported onto the bridge, and they're basically trying to like murder the whole command crew so they can take over the bridge.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah, there you go. Chris said it was an absolute blast. I took the bridge on my own, teleporting in Imperial fists.
Yep. And then Dan says, I heard several times at very drunken volume that Imperial Fist took and held the bridge. Awesome. And Joe says, Jake, if you need some of these terrain kits for a store event, let me know.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, the guys were telling me that a lot of these, like the guns and stuff, the ones on the white ship on the left side of the picture, those are like prototype versions, and then a lot of the stuff on the other ship, they like the guys at Death Ray and Joe can speak to this, I'm sure, they like updated them and changed the kits and stuff, so those are like the newer versions. But yeah, like it really, really looked cool. And they're using the I think they're using like Zone Mortalis rules too.
Yeah, I think so.
But very, very cool. Like a really, really cool idea. And I talked to a bunch of the guys that organize and run that event. The organizers seem like great guys. Like they're really passionate about it. They're super excited. And every single person I talked to who played in that event raved about it. Raved about the guys. Raved about like the event itself. Raved about how much fun they had. And like they had over a couple hundred guys that signed up for the event. So
yeah,
but pretty rad.
Next up was this photo of a huge Kings of War game that was set up and ready to play. We saw that one of the afternoons when we were walking around. This is part of a huge armada.
Yeah, that table was gigantic.
It was. Yeah, this is like a third of it.
I think I took a long shot. I don't know if you put it in here, but I mean that table had to be 12 feet long, or
this is the long shot. It just didn't look good turned on its side. So
okay.
It would have looked very tiny. Like it would have been like this wide, vertical.
Really, really neat.
Yeah, absolutely cool. Josh Potter has joined us. Ahoy! He's on my way home. Get my vehicle repaired. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, hopefully it wasn't anything too crazy.
It was definitely good to see you there, Josh. There was some War Master being played.
Yeah.
Cool. So a couple of tables of War Master here.
Old school. Yeah, just about any game you can think of. There's usually some salt of the earth folks sitting around playing it at one of the tables somewhere.
Yep, absolutely. There was some Napoleonics going on. So there was another venue, the Hyatt Hotel nearby was the venue for almost all of the historical gaming, as well as the Lord of the Rings gaming.
Yeah.
But this was a sort of a big demo table being used by the Wargaming company.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get over to the other building.
Oh, neither did I. This wasn't at the other building. This was in
right. No, I know, but I mean, like Dan probably got some photos because he played in a bunch of Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Scott is here. Hi, Scott. It's tough to get here for the 5 p.m. start.
What's going on, Scott?
Welcome. I think there's only there might only be like 2 weeks or a week or two left before we align again, time wise. Anyway, so here are some shots from Dan of the strategy battle game, the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth strategy battle game.
Who doesn't love a Hobbit army? Come on.
I know, that's amazing, isn't it? Just look at it.
Just a gazillion dudes that are not particularly great at anything.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, Dan says he did take a picture or two. He did. I think I received somewhere in the vicinity of 250 photos. I did not use all of them, Dan. I did made editorial decisions.
Yeah, Dan is our field photographer, and he definitely filled up the inbox.
Without doubt. But no, we're very appreciative. So this is Dan's Cave Drake.
Nice.
Up against the Army of the Dead.
I heard several times from a very drunken Dan that his Cave Drake ate the King of the Dead.
Oh, nice. That's great. That's awesome. And Jonathan Pillow says the Hyatt was not walkable. Yeah, I tried, but they had shuttles running between them.
Yep.
Yep. So this is one that Dan told me about. He said I put a photo in there of Bjorn and another pair, sort of about to be hugged by a Balrog.
How did that fight go? I feel like math-wise, the Balrog probably gets the better of this, but it would take a bunch of wounds.
Yeah. I have a feeling it would. But we'll let Dan tell us what happened in the chat with what happened with the that Balrog.
For sure. Yeah, it did not go well. I mean, the Balrog's kind of a monster. I mean, he's really, really hard to kill.
Yeah. And there was this cool sort of display board.
That's awesome.
This dwarf army.
Easterlings? I think those are Easterlings. Yeah,
dwarf army on the inside, Easterlings on the outside.
Nice.
But yeah. Fantastic looking stuff. So one of my friends, Sam Gallagher, runs a Middle Earth strategy battle game podcast with his brother. So we might have a chat with them soon. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
But we'll let you know about that later on. The Battle of Dale? I don't know. Might be another tale. Now I've got a few photos from the Fall of Erebor. Okay, there we go. So a few photos from in the dealer hall. This is from the Ravaged Star booth.
Yeah. So
Mini Wargaming Dave was there. A couple other folks from the Mini Wargaming team were there as well.
That's where Reese and Gav were like all weekend, and the booth I was at was basically to the left of this booth. So I was like next to Chip Theory was there with Andy. But we were next to Chip Theory, so we were right beside these guys basically all week.
Yep. So some great looking stuff there.
Yeah.
I stopped by Slow Death Games and talked to Chris Kohler, who runs Slow Death Games, and took a photo of the minis in the cabinet here. And a bunch of those were painted by Stephen, who is in the chat. Stephen Ryder.
Yeah, they had some cool looking minis.
Top Super Show. So definitely cool. I wanted to make sure we got that on the show.
Is that a Minotaur down the bottom?
I think so. Yeah.
The big white one that's not painted?
Yep. I think so.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, you might recognize this, Jake.
Yeah, this was I think Friday night, Jeff Smith and I had some downtime, and where I was like, hey, do you want to get a game? Or this might even be Thursday night.
I think it's Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, hey, you want to get some games in? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we just went upstairs and, on the free play section, we just like grabbed a table and like threw some terrain on it and played. It was fun. It was a bloodbath. Like my army's pretty good. Jeff tried the same tactics that he did against Dave, and it did not go well. He to start the game, so that's Jeff on the top of the screen. So he basically had some guys in the left piece of terrain, some guys in the right piece of terrain. Yeah. And then I basically had 4 tanks deployed. Like that was and then I had 3 snipers on the right. And that was basically it. So then I was like, you realize if I kill all of your guys this turn, like that's the game. And he was like, right. So I got to go first. So I killed his his Brutalis, and then he had 3 Devastator Centurions that are like, they'd be really good against my tanks. So I killed them. And then I killed 1 squad of heavy intercessors and, dinged up another one and caused a wound on another one. And then he got to go. He decided to move up and take an objective in the center of the board with the banged up squad. And then moved the other squad up the right-hand side to try to kill my eliminators who are in the woods where the black tank is at the time.
Right.
And then top of turn 2, I had the middle repulsor dump its assault marines, and they charged his guys in the middle of the board and obliterated them. And then I shot everything I had at the guys that were out in the open, and I didn't have enough range to shoot at everything. So the only thing I left on the board was 2 heavy intercessors. And I was like, okay, you get to have your reinforcements come in. And then this is basically the end of his turn. So this is like the midpoint of the game. He dropped in the frost fang. What is that thing called?
Stormfang.
He dropped that thing in, plinked a bunch of wounds off my tank, dropped in his inceptors, rolled really well. Rolled a critical with them, or a failure with them, and then they blew themselves up, like 2 out of the 3. And then he charged my guys in the middle. I got to use that great stratagem, only in death. So he did he must have done 40 wounds to that squad. Like he like blew them out of existence. And then I got to attack back with the whole squad. And then at the end of the combat, roll feel no pains, and 3 of the Marines got back up.
Right.
So it was great. It was an absolute bloodbath. And then at the end of this turn, I basically, so my turn 3, I basically wiped everything out. Like I killed the Terminators in the top left. I finished off the squad in the middle. My Death Company killed the 4 models that they're fighting. And then my Blade Guard charged his command squad and killed everything except for 3 of the wolves and his captain. And then my tanks blew up the Stormfang. So at the end of my turn 3, he had his captain on a wolf and 3 wolf riders with him, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I moved my Death Company and unloaded my other assault squad, and he was like, let's just call it. I was like, okay, cool. It was really fun. Like I think his tactics would have worked against anybody that didn't have tanks.
Right.
Because I basically, like, he couldn't shoot at anything because all my guys are mounted to start the game.
Yeah.
But it was really fun.
Jeff, as you said, he went away and he started thinking about adjustments to his list. So he's made some new purchases.
Yeah.
And we're making.
Oh, yeah, I saw his purchases. He bought a Gladius tank and he bought an Executioner.
Yeah.
for anybody who's on the fence, I cannot recommend the Executioner strongly enough. That tank is awesome.
Yep. The heavy laser destroyer.
Oh, God, that thing is so good.
Yep. For sure.
Oh, Joe, Mario's is in the squad in the middle. No, he's in the squad on the left, top left.
Yep. Well, something strange is happening. We've got a lot of comments from Dan coming through super late.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of weird.
That's weird.
Anyway. Hank says Dave still wins. He's fully painted.
Yeah, Jonathan came and hung out and showed us his Space Wolves, and like his army's gorgeous. He did such a cool job painting them. Like they look really neat, and he hung out for a little bit.
He won best painted army in the
Yeah.
in the championship. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well deserved. Like his army looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, on Friday night, I went to the Geek Nation Tours dinner. So of course, we got a photo of Terrace there. We have Terrace on as a guest a few months ago, so you can go back and check that out and learn a bit more about Geek Nation Tours. This particular one, there was a whole bunch of folks from the industry who got to go along, talk about what they did, answer questions, and there are folks there running a lot of games. So the Warlord Games team were running demo games. The Atomic Mass Games team were running demo games. Seppi Yoon was there.
Yeah, I was blown. I was like, Seppi makes a bunch of card games. Like, why are you at AdeptiCon? He's so funny. He's such a nice guy.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, he was running. I can't remember what the game's called now.
If it's his, it's either Squirrel or Die, or it could be Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber.
It's a new one. New board game.
Is it the one with the aliens and they're like eating people?
Yep, I think it's like Fashion Princess or something like that. But
I don't know that one.
Yeah, very cool. It was great to meet him.
His games were all really, really clever and really fun.
Cool to hang out with the folks who are on the Geek Nation tours, and the guy at the front in the Pogwai hat likes his water bottle as much as you do, Jake.
Yeah, it's a good water bottle.
Yeah.
Hank said you still win. Your army's painted, and I was like,
said that earlier.
By the way, Dave, you made Jeff's week when he was like, "Oh, we have one more month to get everything painted because we have one more episode."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Okay, cool."
Looks like Gonzo's joined us. More than
nice.
What a bunch of nerds. Love you guys.
100%. 100%.
Next up, so after that dinner, I went and played in a Necromunda game with a bunch of folks that I've been going to AdeptiCon with for over a decade.
Nice.
And this was a Lady Hera versus Lady Credo game.
Okay.
And we kind of, so myself and my friend Dave Powles, who played Lady Credo, I was running Lady Hera. We got to pick our teams, kind of sort of dodgeball style, kickball style, whatever you.
Yeah, I got you.
And then we got to rush at each other, sort of attack each other. And what I discovered was that all of my enforcers that were protecting Lady Credo were really, really, really good at being knocked down by squat power hammers.
Oh, right. This is the robots you're talking about, the little robot.
Yeah, little robots with power hammers. They would knock me down and kill me, and then Lady Hera would step up and stab them, like fry their electronics and get them off the board. So when it came down to it, she didn't really need anybody protecting her. She's awesome. But we ended up in a duel, and I was victorious. Lady Hera took the day.
Well done. Another victory for Build Paint Play.
Huzzah! It was good. I got to roll using the Build Paint Play dice, which was nice.
Nice. Yeah, Patrick said apparently they roll really well.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Next up, so this was our dice bags. We got to hang out with Trevor quite a bit at the show. What up with mine?
They smell good too.
They do.
Yeah, he did such a good job with these, like all like the damage and stuff, and even like you can actually read it, like it's an actual like scrolled out purity seal. Like he did such a good job with them.
Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, we left those with Trevor for most of the show. We picked them up on Saturday, took them to our game. So there's all of
us. That's a great shot.
Hanging out together. So this was on the Saturday night at about 10 o'clock.
This is probably like 10:30, but yeah, like it's
Probably about 10:30. Yeah, by
we
now.
were there for a bit.
John Schaefer had run. This was his second day of running the Necromunda events, and he just finished running a version of that Lady Hera versus Lady Credo for participants. So for sort of folks who are playing in his Necromunda tournament, which is why he looks a little bit frazzled. You can see that. Yeah, the glint in his eyes doesn't quite reach the smile.
Yeah, it's less of a glint. He's more a little glassy-eyed.
Yeah, it's a little glassy-eyed for sure. And then we got on to playing. There's a shot of my repulsor, sort of.
And you'll notice that you can see the back of that chair to the top left. There was another knight there, and Dave blew it off the board.
I did. Yep. That was John's Warlord.
Yeah, it was the Crusader. It was the one we were really scared of. I was like, oh, man, if that thing gets loose, it's going to kill a ton of stuff.
Yep. It certainly did take out my Assault Intercessor squad that had been sort of running forward in front of those aggressors in the tanks. So, we used our stickers, the BuildPaintPlay stickers, as our objective markers.
Yeah,
we thought that would be fun. And there's an overhead shot, probably towards about the point where we decided to sort of wrap up the game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a bloodbath.
Yeah, it was very brutal. And this is at about, I think we wrapped up about 2 a.m.
Yep, we did, because I was exhausted on Sunday.
Yeah, without a doubt. Jonathan says, I forgot to order some of the dice bags. How can we do that after the show? Last episode, so episode 10, in the show notes there, there's a link through to Trevor's Etsy store. That's the best place to go and get the order underway. He can do all sorts of custom stuff for you, so it'd be absolutely great.
Yeah, if you go back to if people want to go back and look, like Jeff's picture of his wolf spear bag, the actual wolf head and the spears are metal. Yeah, so like that's actually rusted metal from Trevor's yard, and the metal wolf skull is also from Trevor's yard, and he like buffs and shines it. So it's like super, and his stuff in person looks incredible. They look great in photos. They're unreal in person. And like on Dave's, like the gold star or the brass star, those are all metal. My bag and John's bag don't have any metal. I didn't want any metal on mine. But he can do all that same stuff with like cut leather and whatever. John's is all hand tooled. Mine is all hand tooled. Dave's star in the background, the comet tail, that's all hand tooled leather. The metal looks really cool. I was just like, I don't need to risk getting tetanus. But they're super, super cool. Like they're really, really nice looking bags. They're incredible.
Scott says, I'm late. Did I miss the Malifaux pictures? Unfortunately, I didn't get any Malifaux pictures this year. I will make sure I get some next year for you, Scott. Sorry about that. Yes, there we go. I think at this point we were just ever so slightly ahead.
Yeah, and then at the end of their turn, it was basically in their command phase, we basically figured out it was going to be a draw. So either we could continue, and at the end of the turn, like it had definitely shifted. Turn one, it was 100% seesawed in our favor. It was looking bad for them. And then Jeff had a really good deployment, and John had some really good rolls, and they kind of won back a bunch of stuff and blew up 2 of my tanks. And but then for next turn, my death company was about to like come boiling out of that tank and make a mess of the right side of the board. So, I mean, and then you still had your guys all mounted. So it was going to get ugly, but we just decided to call it. It was basically a draw. I think it was 15-15 at this point. Or no, it was 25-25 victory points. Yeah.
Yep. There we go. Next up. So we've got some photos. These are from Dan as well. This is of the army. It used to be called Armies on Parade. But I think they've changed it now to the AdeptiCon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Something. But yeah, so I didn't see these in person. Dan,
we were busy playing Warhammer.
Yep. But this is Saturday night. It's all down the main corridor in front of the Schomburg Ballroom. There are some amazing displays. This one's surprisingly enough for Hordes.
Nice.
There was still some Privateer Press gaming going on there.
That's a nice looking army.
Yep, it's a fantastic backdrop as well. Super cool.
Josh, that's very nice of you. Like Jeff's stuff that was painted looked great. Dave's army looked incredible. John's stuff looked great. My army was basically 4 squads of painted guys and a bunch of like spray painted tanks. So
they
will be done. I will finish them.
They will be done for sure.
This was hilarious.
Yep. This was a classic Chicago meme, I guess, is the best way to put it. If you go to AdeptiCon for the first time and somebody offers you some Jepson's Malort, do not, I repeat, do not drink it. This stuff is terrible.
Oh, Hank says it's called Army Showcase.
Army Showcase. There we go. The Adepti Cup Army Showcase. But yes, somebody had some fun drinking a lot of a very, very terrible liqueur.
Oof.
Yeah.
There are people who like it, but there's also a lot of people that are wrong.
Exactly.
It is not for me.
So this was a cool Legion sort of showcase. Legion Army.
It's pretty neat. I think they're running as Clan Ren, and that's what a lot of the troopers are. But then they have a lot of the other characters painted. So on the top left, that's Boba Fett, and then that's Daimyo Fett, and then he's got like on the sort of the third tier on the left, the guy with the blaster, I think that's Din Djarin, and then he's done some cool conversion work too. But it's a really nice looking army.
Yeah, definitely cool. Excellent. There was this enormous tower. It looks like was this the 4 Chaos Gods?
Yeah. It's I forget what that tower is supposed to be. Isn't that supposed to be like the tower that like Archeon hangs out in? I don't remember.
Oh, like is this like the 8 points?
Yeah, I think this is one of the 8 points towers. Or that might be the 8 points. And then front left is the Keeper Secrets. Behind her is the Bloodthirster. The guy with the bird wings is obviously the what is it, Lord of Change. And then the stocky chunky guy in the front is one of the giant plague lords.
Yeah, but
really cool light effects. I'm always really impressed by not just the paintwork and the dedication, but like the imagination that some of these folks have, and like the ability to build all this stuff. And the LED like light work is always like on point.
Awesome. Chris Marshall has joined us in the chat. It says, I can neither confirm nor deny that success by Team Handsome was affected by the BPP dice. I would like to think that it was.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Awesome. And that's
pretty rad.
Yeah. This is crazy tree going on. Did you see this one at all, Jake?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. That's pretty cool. Like that's my buddy Morris's booth in the background.
Okay.
Morris sells these. The best backpacks in the world.
All right.
Customizable. Got all my Space Marine patches.
Nice.
Yeah, Morris's stuff is great. He literally found out that I was bringing my buddy Alan, who's an artist. And if anybody doesn't know Alan Panicle, you should definitely check out his art. It is incredible. But so Alan and I were going to hang out, and I guess he was talking to Morris, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like I wonder if I could still get into AdeptiCon." So I guess on like Friday or Monday, he reached out to Shelly, and they were like, "Oh, we have a spot here." So he literally got a booth to go to AdeptiCon like days before the show.
Wow, that's amazing.
He did great. He was right opposite Elric's Hobbies.
Yep,
like out in the hall.
Definitely cool. Dan says there were Necrons in this tree.
Nice.
It's crazy. No, awesome stuff. Absolutely wild displays. Now we're going to take a look at some photos snapped of some of the Golden Demon entries. I don't know that if I have any of the winning entries here, but certainly you can.
Those will all be online at some point.
Well, they're all online now. they went up like 5 p.m. Sunday. So after the award ceremony at 4, they all went up, and the photos look fantastic. The all the winners, everybody who got gold, silver, bronze, absolutely amazing. But these are ones who didn't quite make it, but they're all super amazing as well. I just love this one. This was awesome. I think this is your photo.
Yeah, I went around and I snapped kind of the ones that are like my favorites that really catch my eye, and like I'm a sucker for like nice greens and stuff. It's part of the reason that I always really dig all the stuff that Scott does. And this is it's the Army of the Dead, and I just think they look super cool. I really like the way that this guy created depth by just using greens, but then the closer it is to you, the more color it has.
Right.
So like the skulls down the bottom have a bunch of like other colors, and there's clearly like some reds in his robe and like some gold and stuff.
Right.
But really, really nice. Like, and it's not really OSL, like it kind of is, because they all kind of glow from the face.
Yeah.
But he did a really good job. Like it when you look at it from the side, it fades all the way out to black. So
yeah. No, this was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. This is a photo from me.
That's just great because it's Blood Angel, so obviously it's awesome.
Yeah, this was Benjamin Cantor that commended an entry for this, and I think I'm not sure if this ended up getting a trophy, but yeah, just incredible lighting, incredible work on that. So the lighting coming from the sort of that hatchway there, the blasts and light coming from the weapons.
It's really neat. Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3. There's like three major points of OSL.
Yeah.
And then he's got a couple of other, like obviously there's overhead lights because there's like spots of light on the floor and they all have shadows.
Yeah.
Or that could also be just like the actual lights in the case, but he very deliberately used some spot colors on the floor to show like overhead lumens and stuff. But yeah, it's really, really neat.
I think Matt Bowles just called you out, Jake. In the chat, he says Blood Angels losing to Gene Stealers. Very nice.
Oh, please. They're about to smoke those fools. That one on the right that looks like he's winning, he's about to get his head pulped by a power fist.
Oh, Dave Hall says that got an award. So
nice.
One of the things that was cool as well this year, so previous years, or recent previous years, they've done obviously gold, silver, and bronze. They've done finalists as well, so you get either a finalist pin or a finalist pin and a commended entry. If you had the commended entry, you were in the running for the sort of that final selection. So this year they had a step below that as well, which was notable entry. So there are a whole bunch of folks who are photographed as notable entries. But see that there's a little stand up behind it that is holding the commended entry card. I think folks who won also got one of those. Who got a commended entry got one of those stand-ups.
Oh, cool!
Great thing for it. Like a nice little thing to display their commended entry certificate, I guess. Card and.
So would this be diorama or dual?
Well, diorama and dual was the combined category.
Okay.
So it was this is one category. So diorama.
Is there still an open category?
There's still an open category. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think there was still an open category. One of my friends, Jeff Bowden, got bronze in that category with a awesome Jane Czar.
I think one of my favorite parts about this is the flying Gene Stealer arm down the bottom left, like he's literally been cut in half by the assault cannon.
Yeah. It's definitely cool. Next up, snag this one from Dan's photos, I think. Just very cool.
Emperor's Children Praetor.
Emperor's Children Praetor and Terminator armor. It's beautifully done.
Yeah. Did the old school lens trick that we all love.
Yeah. Looks fantastic.
Works every time. It looks great.
The big green gem in the center of his chest there with the spot highlight where the light is reflected, and then there's all the light being refracted through the gem.
Very nice.
Yeah. Jonathan Plomo says the sheer amount of 40k single minis was unbelievable. I would have been scared to look at the total number of entries in that category. It wouldn't be too bad, I think. It's
super nice.
No, Matt, the open category is not eligible to win the Slayer sword. I think the winner came from the diorama, I believe.
Yeah, so it's what, like they give out a golden demon. You get a golden demon for each category, or technically there's 3, right? You technically get there's a gold, silver, and a bronze.
Gold, silver, and bronze for each category. Yeah,
and then the Slayer sword winner is selected from the golden demon winners.
Yeah,
the winners the best single overall piece.
Yeah, with the open category doesn't you don't win a golden demon for that. You win an open category gold, silver, or bronze award.
Okay, but they're not eligible for the Slayer sword.
No, they're not. No. So it's also the only one that GW staff can enter. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, GW staff are not eligible for the Slayer sword. But this one, I think you might have taken this one, Jake.
Yeah, this is undead for, I believe this is a warband from
Warcry.
No, I don't think it's Warcry. I think it's Underworlds.
Underworlds, yeah. So there was a Warcry / Underworlds category.
Yeah. Well, I think this was just entered in like best squad,
right?
Like squad or unit,
best AOS unit.
Yeah, but it's super cool. Like all the minis that are in this like box are really cool. Like there's the big armored skeleton on the right, and then there's like a kind of like a grave guard or a skeleton warrior, and then there's a guy with a halberd. But the sort of the lich in the back, like the lich king, is just such a cool model.
Yeah. No, this is definitely looks beautiful. This
very limited palette, but it looks really, really cool.
Yeah. Josh from the Crown of Command has joined us. Says, "Hey guys," and
what's going on, Josh?
Wonderful painting on the gemstones. Talking about the previous Emperor's Children Terminated Praetor. Scott says Richard Gray had an entry in the open. It was a Squig Rider, and my guess is they couldn't define it to one of the other categories. It was nice. I just didn't know why it wasn't in an AOS monster category. So things that ended up in the open category are either things that fall outside of all of the other categories. So I think James Taro entered like a half scale servo skull, and that would go into so completely sculpted by him, all that sort of thing. That would go into the open category. The other things that go into open category is when somebody has 2 entries that would fit in the same category. So, for example, Jeffrey Bowden had an entry in 40k single miniature, and then his Jane Czar he wanted to enter that as well. He put that into the open category. So I think for Richard Gray, it's probably the same thing. He probably had an entry in Age of Sigmar monster category, and he decided to put his Squig Rider into the open category. The third possibility is that somebody comes along and looks at all of the entries in a particular category that matches their model and goes, it looks pretty tough. I might go for the open looks a little bit easier, so I'm going to put it in the open category. That's another option as well. Why those things might happen that way.
You'd have to have some pretty serious chops to think the open category is easier.
Oh yeah. Well, it's that thing where it all depends on what's there on the day.
I'm a pretty strong swimmer. I'll fight that shark.
Yeah. Matt and Josh both say 35 folks in total currently watching. If everybody could hit the like button now.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that.
We would very much appreciate that. He said
we are only as good as our rabid fans.
Yep. This is true. Next up, I think I grabbed this one from Dan's collection.
Who doesn't love Gaskell? I mean,
it's just an awesome looking Gaskell on a very cool base. A nice sort of rocky desert base. But
Great
I
job
think
on the
like
base, dude. Like that base looks dusty. Like the wind is going to come along and swirl it up.
Yeah, yep. Those the tufts are the grass are cool and well placed and don't distract from the gas well. But I think that I would love to paint this model at some point.
He's huge.
I know.
He is like the biggest. I mean, he should be, but he's just awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, this model's just painted so well. I have no idea who painted it, but did a fantastic job.
I don't know if they're in here anywhere, but there were two, or at least when I walked through on Saturday night, there were two Boss Snickrot, and he's my favorite orc. I think he's the best. Okay. So somebody had painted the new one, which is a good model. I like him a lot. But then somebody had painted the older one, which I think is a better sculpt. It's the one that he's going like, he's got like the knife in one hand, and then he has because what are they, Gork's teeth or the fangs of Mork, I think. Right. Like he's got his night vision goggles on. Like I love Snickrot. He's my favorite orc.
Awesome. I think this is one that you took, Jake.
Yeah. I love this model. It's one of the new Cities of Sigmar models, but somebody has gone out of their way to make sure it's an homage to the Green Knight, which I thought was great.
Yeah. This was amazing. This is Andrew Waxtel did this. He's from New Jersey. And he won Best of Show at the Historicon painting competition that I run each year. And yeah, I would say that this is like definitely a considerable number of steps ahead of the model that he won Best of Show with last year. It's just
super cool. On a model that's only about this big, and the base is probably only, I don't know, 5 inches by 5 inches or 4 inches by 4 inches. It's like, how big is his base? Like 4 inches across?
Not even 3.
Yeah, so I mean, you can see that like the rocks and stuff are hanging off the base. So that's only like maybe 3.5 by 3.5 square he's on. Yep. And he packed so much detail and depth into this model, like with the twisty little tree in the background that gave it some really good height, and his back banners and all like the growth and undergrowth around the rocks. Like he did so much work on this model. This photo does not do it justice. It was incredible. It's really, really nice.
It is awesome. So you got a bronze with this, so you can check this out on the Warhammer community coverage. Looks fantastic. And Dan suggests I wish GW put some sort of black drop cloth behind the cases to cut down on the midday glare for photo taking. That's good for sure.
The problem is I don't think they can, because during the day because they're right along the windows, you get awesome natural lighting. So you get some really, really good shots. The problem is that if you're on the right hand side of the cases, like you're looking through them into the windows. So I don't know how you could do it that it would like make a difference, but
Jonathan asks, what happens if I unlike and then relike? It still only counts as a one like.
I think it's just the one like.
Yeah.
To quote Gimli, it still only counts as one.
Still only counts as one. Absolutely.
That was for you, Dan. That Lord of the
Rings. So this was from the Lord of the Rings section. I think this one was painted by my friend Sam that I mentioned earlier, Sam Gallagher.
It's pretty cool. The hobbits are great. They look super realistic.
Yeah, he done an awesome job, particularly with all of the sort of the greenery around them.
I like that Pippin actually has a cabbage.
Yeah. Full of a took. Yeah, definitely cool.
Lee gave us 3 likes.
Nice.
I think that only works if you create like ghost accounts.
Yeah. Well, it's 1 like for you, Jake, 1 like for me, and 1 to grow on.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There we go. And this one as well. So this is by John Ninos. So not only can you check this out, so you want a bronze with this, so you can check this out in the Age of Sigmar unit category. But he has a video series on how he sort of put this together, so it's definitely worth going and checking it out.
It was really nice. Like that mounted model is great. That it's the same guy that we just saw. It's the same horse. but just a really cool pose of them coming down the hill. Most models are, if the cavalry, they're either riding straight or the horse is rearing up. It's usually angled the other way. So it's kind of interesting to see it angled like he's coming down. There's a little bit of menace to that pose. Like, it's like, okay, I guess I'll ride down off this hill that I was, posing on to kill you. But it also makes it look a little more like kind of downtrodden and like blue collar, which I dig. The big thing about this that I liked the most was the dog. The dog looks great.
It does, actually. It looks awesome. Great coloring. Sweet. Just quickly, Lee says, anyone coming to Salute in London? We should be there with Mel Bowes. Looking forward to it. I
wish.
Hopefully Mel will be doing a book signing there for Terrain Essentials, which would be super cool at the Warlord booth. But we'll find that out hopefully in the next couple of days.
Reese will be there. Make sure you guys track him down and say hi.
Yeah. Awesome. Then next up was this tank.
Very nice.
From the I think this is from the epic scale category.
Yes.
But it looks awesome, crushing through that wall. Brilliant sort of filigree work. So this would be a Blood Angels tank, yeah.
Yep.
Think?
Yeah, that's a Blood Angels. It's the what's that Spartan? It's a Blood Angel Spartan.
It's fun. Yeah. Oh, Josh says that's Ivan's. 3 weeks work into that one. Yeah,
3 weeks. That's pretty good.
Yep.
That thing is tiny. Like, that base is the size of like a 50-cent piece.
Right.
It's it's like that.
Who uses 50-cent pieces as a frame of reference?
Sorry, we have a ton of them in the drawer at work.
Anything,
I give them
anything but the metric system, right? Anything but the metric system.
Okay, I guess that's like a 40 millimeter base, I think.
Yeah, something like that. But no, beautiful work there. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I got from the epic category. I got a picture of the Alpha Legion squad with their rhino.
This one?
Yeah, it's hilarious. it's so tiny. I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
And the amount of detail he got on it is great.
Yep. Yeah, Dave, definitely you'll have to watch this. Definitely have to watch this on your PC tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah, and anybody who's listening. So we found out over the weekend, according to Gonzo, that apparently we have a bunch of people who listen to our stream as a like a podcast on either iHeartRadio or
Spotify, SoundCloud,
or Muse on Minis or SoundCloud or Spotify. Which I was like, oh, that's wild, and it's probably fine for the first 75% of most episodes. But like, I was like, oh, cool, people are really digging it. So, but for those of you watching at home or listening at home who can't see this, it is a teeny tiny rhino tank that would fit on a postage stamp, and 5 guys that are surrounding it, and it looks great. It is painted like Alpha Legion colors.
So Alpha Legion, so slightly, so got that metallic blue green, and the fantastic Hydra symbol painted on the back hatch,
and on the shoulder pads, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, yep. Look at that. Oh my goodness, amazing, wonderful stuff there. And this one was shot actually of I think this is from Dan as well. Unfortunately, the guy at the front is out of focus, but this was my favorite. I think my favorite Warcry warband that I saw there.
I didn't see this one.
That were great. Yeah, this is the kind of the Dark Oath.
Yeah.
Warband. One of the most recent ones, but they do look fantastic.
The guy in the back with the staff. He looks like one of the leaders from the Bear Clan in 13th Warrior. That's what he looks like.
Yep. Yeah, definitely has.
Very cool.
Yeah, Matt Ball says I love that Predator helm on the right. Yeah, it does look fantastic. Great sort of skull face.
All right, very cool. I thought that was a shoulder pad, and the guy's like walking up the hill.
Right. Nope. That's a skull mask.
Very cool.
Now we've got some. So going back to that for a second. So that's the last photo we've got from the Golden Demon. as I said, head to the Warhammer community website and check out the Golden Demon article there. Some fantastic photos, and then go and check all those folks out on Instagram. We're going to see some multiple angles, that kind of thing. But yeah, just fantastic stuff. Next up is some photos from the Worthy. So I think these were also taken by Dan. So this first one here is the Daily Bugle. This was done by a friend of mine, Scott Ferguson, which looks super cool.
So anybody who wasn't at AdeptiCon, the Worthy is the paint contest put on by Atomic Mass, and it's all the Atomic Mass stuff. So it can be stuff from Legion, Marvel Crisis Protocol.
No. The Worthy is only Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Oh, don't they have Star Wars stuff too?
They have the license for Star Wars stuff. They don't have a painting competition for it yet.
Oh, okay. I thought there was stuff from those two games. I could have sworn I saw Star Wars stuff.
There might have been some Star Wars stuff sort of on display in the cabinets, but it wouldn't have been.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're not allowed to cross the streams. Definitely not allowed to cross the streams. But yeah, so this is a sort of a Daily Bugle billboard atop a New York City apartment. So we've got Spider-Gwen. Is that Miles Morales?
Yeah, Miles Morales is in the middle, and then that's classic Spider-Man up to the right.
Classic Spider up at the back. Looks awesome. I think Scott almost took away. I think he came sort of fourth in that category with this. No, what did he get? He got a silver. Sorry, my bad. So
very cool.
Definitely cool. This is a great diorama as well. Spidey and Killer Croc.
No, Killer Croc is a Batman villain in DC. That's the Lizard.
The Lizard. My bad.
Dr. Kirk Connors.
I'm the one crossing the streams here now.
Yeah, come on, Dave. Are you trying to get us all sued?
Probably.
You can't have a Marvel hero fighting a DC villain.
You could. You totally could.
Sure. I mean, you can do whatever. We can do whatever we want.
It's got to be a conversation, right? But there we go. Okay, the lizard down in the sewers. So it's fantastic sewer scene. Great.
He did some cool light work too.
Yeah, this looks fantastic. Nate has joined us. Nathan Herron is here. Says the Star Wars stuff was the studio minis of mostly unreleased Legions and Shatterpoint.
Nice.
Cool. Matt Ball says, who is the person lying in the front of this diorama? That's me dying of embarrassment for misnaming the lizard.
That I believe that's Gwen Stacy.
Okay. It may well be. Next up, MODOK.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic transition. I love just love this backdrop as well.
It's very like old school comic book kind of actiony.
Yep. There's loads of great so red background, black and blue polka dots. Looking awesome.
MODOK's pretty great. He's so goofy. I love that he's just like a giant head.
Yeah.
That's great.
It confuses me. I'm not sure I love it,
but what is it? Mobile organism designed only for killing.
Okay, is that what it stands for?
Yeah.
Okay, right here. There we go. So that's very cool MODOK that Dan took a photo of. And threw in this Squirrel Girl.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Squirrel Girl's great.
And so that's the last one from the Worthy there. Super cool.
Great work on her face too. Her face had a lot of like character to it.
Yeah, very definitely. But no, beautiful work. So there are a whole bunch of things that went on at AdeptiCon. So loads of gaming, loads of tournaments, loads of hobby seminars, loads of painting competitions. We didn't get any photos of the Resin Beast, which was run by Creature Caster. We didn't get any photos of the Grand Master, which was run by P3. Privateer Press. P3 Grandmaster. I think there are a couple of other competitions. They're running one in the Badger Games booth. I think Sean Sutter ran one for Relic Blade. I think it was like a Relic Blade speed painting competition. Things went really well at the show for Sean for Relic Blade.
Nice.
He sold out on Friday.
That's awesome.
He brought twice as much stuff as he brought last year. and sold out on Friday.
I'd like to think it's due to our interview and us pushing him.
Well, we haven't interviewed Sean, so
see, that's the power.
That's the power. Okay, yeah, we talked about it.
We did
off camera, but sure.
Every time I go, Ben always has me pick up stuff for him from Sean. He loves Relic Blade.
Definitely. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to talk to Sean a little bit later this year. Next up is next up I've got a whole bunch of selfies that I took.
Sure.
Because for me, that's what AdeptiCon is all about. Really, it's the chance to go and because I've been going for so long, spending time with people that I know, catching up, talking about what they're up to, what cool things they're doing, what's going on in their life. So these are some folks that I've been going to AdeptiCon with for, as I said, like a decade. Chris Bora, Jeff Jenkins, Brian Ballard, Brian Sob, Lisa Sob. Absolutely awesome. I think, Brian actually proposed to Lisa at AdeptiCon when it was at Lombard.
Nice.
But definitely cool. So this was a nice evening meal that we had. Who's next? Oh, I met up with Sergio Calvo, spectacular Spanish painter. He has a Kickstarter coming up soon, so we chatted about running Kickstarters. He ran one about 6 years ago, and so I was able to sort of update him on where things are at with Kickstarter, with backer kit, things to look out for, things to pay attention to, which is super cool.
Nate said he snuck the ring in her swag bag that year.
Yeah, he did. He did. So that's
great.
So
I might be able to answer this, or if you can't, Hank probably can. So his badge says core. What was that?
Where does it say core?
Underneath hobby instructor.
I'm not sure.
Because like a bunch of the guys had badges that were blank if you were an attendee, and then mine said exhibitor, and then I saw something that said core, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Like
I think there were some that were advanced as well, and I think so advanced you got to pick up a certain swag bag, perhaps.
Oh, it was swag bag related. Okay,
I think it was swag related, but yeah.
No, Hank said that was the base badge, advanced.
Yeah, core was the base badge.
Nice.
Yeah. Or one of the bag.
Okay. That makes sense. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yep. So it's great to see Sergio and have a chat with him. I met Jeff from the Painting Phase channel.
Nice.
So that was cool. Had a chat with him, and hopefully on the Painting Phase he'll be able to interview Tommy Sewell, who wrote Volume 5 of the Art of series. That was great. This is a funny photo because I was chatting with Brent from Goobertown Hobbies, Casey from eBay Miniature Rescues, Mike Dutcher from Listening to Paint Dry. So the three guys are sort of in the middle, and then two guys, like the guy with the Gen Con bag and the other guy sort of standing behind there with the glasses, sort of came up and started chatting as well. And I was like, okay, well, let's get a photo. And they got a photo with the three people they knew, Casey, Mike, and Brent. And so I was like, well, I'm going to get a photo as well, but I'm going to get a photo with everybody in it.
You also got Malev in this photo.
I did get Malev. I got Jamie Daggers. I got Witty as well. And I think I got the Painterly Git, who's sort of right up behind my head there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Painterly Git. That's Jamie Daggers, Malev, Witty Goblin, and there's probably somebody else in the background there.
Dan, I'll tell you what, for customer service purposes, if you don't want that, you can send it to me and I'll send you a replacement, because I have a buddy who will absolutely take that.
Awesome. Yes, you can get to anyone with a game of 6 Degrees of Dave Taylor.
Oh, 100%.
Without a doubt. All good. So next up, we've got myself, Sky Herrick here from Herrick Games and Hobbies in Santa Cruz, California. Sky also helps out for the Nova Open Charitable Foundation each year. which is definitely cool. When I say helps out, he helps sort of organize and promote it all. And then over on the right, of course, we've got Josh Sawyer from the Independent Characters, who we had on as guests about a month ago. So you can go and check that episode out. And then in the middle there, we're separated there because we wanted to include Byron Ord from Artist Opus, who was at the show as well. So he's the owner of Artist Opus. So that was cool.
Didn't your army win something? Didn't you get like second place for your 1,000 Suns or something? I might be wrong. Somebody brought up the 1,000 Suns army. And I was like, oh yeah.
I think that might have been Chris that brought it up because I think Chris won best appearance. Chris Kemig.
Yeah, I think the 1,000 Suns. I think they got second. I think
they might have. I hope they did. They're beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. It was really
nice. Of course, we've got Ben and Connor from Blacksite Studios.
Yeah.
I even bought a Blacksite Studios hat.
Nice.
It's kind of one of those fancy ones that's flat at the front, flat-ish in the front.
I forgot. I was going to pick up the Lunar starter set, and then I think they were sold out on by the time the last day rolled around. Because I said to him, I was like, he was like, "Oh, do you want one?" I was like, "Dude, do your thing, sell your stuff. Like, I'll put it in order later, but like, if you got one, I'll get it." And they were sold out, so which is good. I mean, again, this is a great show for the retailers. Like, Hank also does a really great job. I think it's one of the best things. I tell everybody about this, that you only need a badge if you are playing in one of the events or taking place in one of the classes or playing in the tournaments or whatever. If you just want to go in and like hang around and talk to people and buy stuff at the vendor hall, it's free. Like, you don't need a badge.
Yeah. Absolutely cool. Sorry, just going back through. Hank says Matt Weeks heads up the complaint department for AdeptiCon. That is an absolutely terrible thing to say there, Hank. And everybody else should not contact Matt.
Are you sure? Hank said that that's what they should do.
Please don't. We want Matt to sort of be around, like, still do everything he does for Adepticon for years to come. Dan said he instantly traded his Tower Combat Patrol for an Orc Combat Patrol, but had to touch it to get out of his bag. So went through a 10-step cleaning procedure.
Ridiculous.
Fantastic. Dan says, I haven't been hearing about Chris winning best appearance constantly either. There we go. Chris obviously had a fantastic Adepticon.
Oh yeah, no, he did great.
Next up was at the Warzone Eternal booth.
I'm not sure how I'm not in this photo, but
well, you were off obviously doing something else. But yeah, Brian CP Steele is there on the left, Alex and Rick. So it was cool to get those guys there. So this was on the Saturday.
Yep.
You can tell because I'm wearing the BuildPaintPlay shirt. And then finally,
hey,
I managed to snag a photo of the wild Josh Potter when we were walking across the walkway.
Very nice.
Yep.
No, he was great. I ran into Josh like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. No, it was definitely cool. So it was great to see him there. He was running demo games, having a great time. A lot of fun. So yeah,
you know who he reminds me of a little bit. He reminds me a little bit of Ray.
Okay, yeah,
Ray Rappaport.
There's definitely
like a younger Ray Rappaport.
There's definitely Ray vibes for sure. That would be the kilt and the fez are the main connections there
for sure,
but also the massive enthusiasm for having fun.
Yeah.
Other people have fun, definitely. Awesome. This is described as Uncle Adam. Not quite. Uncle Adam's, I think, has a bit more white in his beard.
And Adam never wears a hat.
No, he's worn a fez before for sure.
Really? I've never seen Adam in a hat, but
no, I've seen it. But yeah. Yes, that kid in the background does look super hyped. But so yeah, that was Adepticon. That's our coverage of Adepticon. Adepticon was obviously so much more. 96 straight hours almost for me. And I think I slept for maybe 8 of them, maybe 12, somewhere around.
The last 3 days from when we ended our game on Saturday, until I got home on Monday, I think I slept a total of like 7 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
But
awesome.
yeah, like last night I went to bed early with my wife. I usually stay up until like 1 or 2, and I went to bed at like 10:30 and slept until like 9 today. And I was like, I feel way better.
That's awesome. But yeah, it's definitely another fantastic show. Awesome stuff there. I'm just noticing that. Yep.
But yeah, like I made a post, and again, a huge shout out to Hank and Matthias and Shelly and the whole Tim Toolin, like all the folks at Adepticon. Like, there's such a good job. Like Dustin cracks me up every year, like in his giant orange Dayglow sweatshirt, and such a good job, and such a fun show, and it gets bigger every year.
Yeah.
But I think the sort of the overarching sort of concept that I think makes it so great is that it is literally a building full of people that love what we do. They love miniatures and mini wargaming and rolling dice and painting models, and like it doesn't matter what flavor of that you're into, it's there, and everybody loves it. It's such a positive show. And
all the flavors are there. It's whichever way you want to slice it. It's
right.
I think it's talking to Matt Weeks. He said that last year they had 5,500 pre-registered attendees. This year there were 6,900 pre-registered attendees.
Yep.
Which means that at the show there's over 8,000 people, which is the largest AdeptiCon yet.
Yeah.
Which is,
and you could tell, like Saturday it felt packed, and Sunday was really busy too. So, but yeah, it's just such a fun show, and it's a huge, credit to Hank and his team that the bigger it gets, it feels the same. It never feels like there's like a dip in quality, or like the crush is real. Like
or that there's a disconnect from the organization, that all the people who are running it. Yeah, everybody cares 100%. So absolutely awesome. Scott says, I'm glad Adepticon is over. Now you can focus on Nova. For sure. Matt says, Nova Open coming soon. Dave Hummel is going home after a 16-hour workday. Yeah, go home and get some sleep, Dave.
Yeah, seriously.
You can catch up with us tomorrow. Joe says he's looking forward to Nova. Just says it looked great. Cheers for all the photos. Patrick said, unbelievable show. First time going, and learned a lot about how it works. Definitely looking forward to next year, without a doubt.
Yeah, there were a lot of folks from my store. Like a lot of regulars went out there. I must have run into at least not counting Ray, because he's like one of my business partners, and like I knew he was going. He went out with like 4 or 5 of his friends that are all regulars, and then not counting them, I must have run into at least 7 or 8 others that were just there, and they're like, "Oh, I've heard you talking about how great it is." And like Patrick is a perfect example. He's one of our regulars who we've been raving about, and he was like, "I'm going to check it out." And he said he had a great time. So it all just speaks to all the hard work that Hank and his team do. So
Hank and the team, yeah, absolutely awesome. Congratulations, Hank, and everybody who works hard to pull that off. Absolutely amazing, awesome stuff. It is time for us now to jump into talking about the community minis. So these are the ones that have been posted on our Facebook page, the Build Paint Play community. So if you would like to check these out and you are on Facebook, head over there and join the group, and post your awesome models. So I'm just going to start sharing those now.
What do we got?
Yikes, indeed. So Adam Well has posted this fantastic...
Is that a ghoul?
I don't know what it is, Jake, but it is, apart from frightening.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a weird crouched over ghoul, and he's got like rips in his skin, his ribs are showing. I mean, he's messed up, but like I like it.
Absolutely messed up. But Adam's done a beautiful job painting it. Got that awesome sort of central glow, fantastic volumes. But yeah, beautiful work there. I think we've got about 20 photos in this session, so we'll have to scoot through these as well.
Okay.
But yes, Jess says that's nasty. I like it.
Yeah, for our audio crowd, like, thank you so much for joining us and listening. But this is a show you might want to check out on YouTube because there's a lot of visual content.
A lot of awesome visuals. But yeah, definitely cool. So this is from Adam Weller. Very cool to see. Next up, Ben. So Ben failed.
So this was kind of like, I don't want to say a dare, but so when I saw Jeff Hall at Gamma, which was at this point 3 weeks ago, we got really screwed in this launch. GW, like,
you say this, but you need to explain what the launch is. It's
so it's Uftech. Was it Uftech Blackhawk? He's like the new orc character. And this same week there were like 8 or 9 different like Black Library exclusive books that came out, and we put in our order, and somebody got out over their skis and totally made an absolute mess of that launch for us. So we ended up getting like almost nothing. So I reached out to Jeff, and Jeff was nice enough, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we have a couple left over." And I was like, "Can you send me 3 or 4 of the Blackhawk model?" And we ordered some more, like a couple other things that he had randomly. And he was like, "If I send this to you," he's like, "it says it's going to get there on Thursday." And he's like, "Ben, or Friday." He's like, "Ben better have this painted by Monday." So Ben like knocked it out over the weekend to get it done.
Yeah. But it looks fantastic, Ben.
He's a really cool model.
Yeah. It's a great job. That yellow looks really very cool. Very Bad Moon. Awesome work. Next up, we've got Chris. Chris Gorka has painted some more models for Shatterpoint.
Chris Gorka back at it with his
so this is Bo-Katan.
A few sliding techniques and his he's got that's Bo-Katan on the left, and that's one of her Mandalorian, her Night Owl Mandalorians on the right.
All right. So glad I got that right.
Bo-Katan is my favorite. She's the best.
Awesome. And Chris also painted up Count Dooku and Darth Maul.
Yep. Very nice.
So look,
a lot of chocolatey tones in these two.
Yep. With those the cloak and the pants.
Their lightsabers drive me nuts. Like we have Ahsoka on the demo table, and Ben has been very good and has a lot of patience and is patiently glued on Ahsoka's lightsabers probably 7 times because they just keep snapping off.
Yeah. But yeah, beautiful work there, Chris. Love that Force lightning as well. Looks great. Matt Bowles says, "Oh, cool. We got Connor from Black Six Studios on there.
Welcome.
Yep. Yeah, Sith chocolate, says Matt Bowles.
Yeah, they're super cool.
It's great.
Connor, if you go back and watch the stream, there's a great photo of you and Dave a couple minutes back.
Yep. Fantastic. So Chris Jones painting up a couple of apothecaries for his Dark Angels. So work in progress on the one on the left there for the apothecary, and completed apothecary biologist on the right. So yeah, definitely looking good there, Chris. Glad you were able to get stuck into these. They look really good.
They're so nice. I love apothecaries.
Yep. So next up.
Oh, very nice, Chris.
So yes, Chris shared with us his AdeptiCon medal.
He did such a good painting the metallics on that. It looks so real.
It does, doesn't it? It looks super shiny. I love the work that he did on the silk ribbon.
Yeah, very realistic.
Yeah. Awesome. There's Dan saying, geez. Awesome. But no, great work, Chris. I can't remember which achievement this was for, but
I think that was he got that for the Titanica scale models, for
the Legion Imperialis.
Yeah, his Solar Ox and his I think it's just Solar Ox. I think.
Yeah. Cool. Next up, Clive Mills. Clive Mills popped in a couple of photos there. He said,
Is that Krampus?
It is. He said he was either a little bit late or quite a bit early.
I mean,
but he got that.
Krampus shows up when he wants to.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. But he got that as a 3D print from an Etsy store. And
Nice.
just wanted to get it done. Was really excited about it. But no, very cool, Clive. Thanks for sharing. Dave. Oh, we missed this before Dave left. But so Dave's chapter that he's working on is the Shadow Hawks. And if he wants to run them because he has so many models and such a huge collection, if he wants to run them as Space Wolves, he can run this as use this as Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Yeah, it's basically that's one of the Hippogriff riders from Age of Sigmar from the Storm. I think the Stormcast Vanguard, and then he swapped out the right arm at the elbow.
Yep.
With Sanguinary Guard, the two-handed sword, and then it's got one of the like alternate heads and a backpack on it, but like really, really cool.
I think it's a Mark II helmet.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the alternate ones because it doesn't have the like the grill.
Right.
Unless he just filled it in.
It just has the eye slit right the way across. But yeah, definitely just a cool idea. Something that matches completely with his army. Very nice.
Very cool.
Oh, Dave says he's still here listening. There we go.
Nice.
A Palador rider. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, they're super cool. The commander of that box I love. The big iron, the big griffin. It's really cool.
Right. Next up, this is Jason sent us a couple of shots from the 40K friendly. The 40K friendly theme was Back to the Future.
I love the armored DeLorean with the guns on it. That is amazing.
That was his Vulture gunship.
So good.
So Vulture gunship supporting his masses and masses of Rough Riders. I think it's something 60 or 70 Rough Riders.
That army's bonkers. So it's a gazillion Rough Riders and 3 Sentinels. That's it.
Yeah, and the Vulture.
Right. That's
the
awesome.
DeLorean. Yeah. Which is pretty crazy. So this is seeing a unit of the Krieg Rough Riders getting in against some Space Marines.
I think those are Hammers of Dorn.
Are they?
I believe the orange with the gray shoulder pads. I believe those are Hammers of Dorn.
Okay. Cool.
But just knowing the rules, I believe they're about to get worked. Although on the right hand side, they have it looks like one of the Judiciaries. His rules are sick.
Yeah. That means they get to go first, right?
Yeah, he gets to interrupt and he can choose a unit to go first.
Yeah. And this was another game where Jason was playing against another Imperial Guard player. And of course, all of those Rough Riders in the back lines.
Yeah, that is not a good day for those tanks because you can just pick explosive tips and then the worst guy, the guy I feel the worst for is like down the bottom right. There's like a single little engine priest, like engine seer, like with his axe. He's like, that's going to be a rough day. Yeah,
absolutely rough day. Thanks for sharing those. He was excited to get to the play portion of the after the building and painting.
Very nice.
John Steining has been painting up some more minis for his Warhammer Old World Empire army and the crossover 15th century Landsknecht army.
Those are super cool.
So
Josh, those were the Victoria. Not these ones aren't. The Winged Hussars are all the Victoria miniatures.
Victoria miniatures models. Yep. Oh, that's Stephen asking that.
Oh, sorry, Stephen.
But yeah, so John's done another great job there. Again, another awesome banner as well.
Yeah.
That guy's hand and wrist though is super strong.
Yeah, that guy's a beast. He clearly does not skip like wrist day.
Yep. Next up, Kristen Simonson posted some close-ups of this guy with a little bit more OSL work there.
So good.
Yeah. I liked how in the comments of this you said that he's obviously a good guy because of the happy little sun face on his tilting shield. Yeah.
One of the things I really like about this model, in addition to most of it, is he has like these wavy stripes that come up his right boot leg.
Right.
And then they continue up his leg. He did smaller ones. So it looks like he's got like the old school, like remember when in a lot of the Just Goodwin illustrations, like the Slaneshi Marines always had like leggings pulled on over their armor.
Oh, okay.
Like that's what it looks like. It looks like he has like crazy striped leggings pulled on like over his arm. It just looks really cool.
Yeah. But
these sculpts are great too, like with the trigger discipline.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent work, Christian. We love it. Luis Sanchez finished off his first conquest, last argument of Kings model.
Yeah, I forget this. I think this guy's a Tolmark or an Aristarch, but yeah, he's basically like he's like a leader figure. He like joins all the phalanx dudes.
Yeah, looks fantastic. I love that gold. Did such a good job with that gold.
Yeah, it's like true metallic looking. It's really, really neat. I'm pretty sure that's an oil-based metallic, but
okay, radio could well be. Luis has done a lot of scale modeling stuff before this, so we have a lot of those sort of things. We mentioned last week that he'd posted up a picture of some of his previous work on other scales. So this is an awesome hood from a car model.
Yeah, it's not big. I mean, clearly you can see it's on like 3 of his fingers. It's probably only, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches by like maybe 2.5 to 3 inches.
Yeah.
He was telling me about it. He was at a scale model painting contest somewhere, and he was talking about how he like paints everything. And I was like, well, I only paint it if you can see it. Like, I don't go out of my way to drive myself nuts. And he's like, yeah, but but it'll drive me nuts because I'll know that it's there and it's not painted. So at one place, because it's a scale model, like you can open the doors and like lift the hood and stuff. He painted everything, including the dipstick in the engine, like the oil stick. And one of the judges was like, hey, we really liked your model, and came by and was like, I really appreciated that you painted the dipstick and everything. Like,
yeah, they check those things. No, he says it's 1/25th scale.
Okay, nice.
So, actually, in 3 weeks' time, I'm going to be playing a game of Gaslands at 1/25th scale.
Nice.
Yep. That hood is 3 50-cent pieces wide by 2 50-cent pieces.
Oh, sorry, Scott. Sorry, Scott. You can just replace 50-cent piece with a toonie.
Can you? I thought loonies were bigger. Anyway, fantastic, awesome work there, Luis.
Very nice.
Definitely cool. Matt Bowles has painted up a whole bunch of grots for his excellent orc army that he's doing for Tale of More Warlords.
Matt, I love these guys.
Yeah, they look awesome.
There was a guy when Jeff and I were playing. There was a guy next to us running an army of squat tanks, or grot tanks. It was he must have had 18 of them on the board.
Oh, Jesus! Wow. Yeah, I love that you're going with that sort of the reddish on the nose. I really love the guy at the front there with the goggles, the blue,
and his 2 pistols.
Yeah, it looks
so
awesome.
Yeah,
very cool there. They look awesome.
So
nice. Good. Next up, we have this piece from Mike Hughes.
Ridiculous.
I presented him on a number of different backgrounds, so I thought I'd pick the cool sort of heavy metal background.
This has a very like Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer vibe to it.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Mike painted this as the box art for this particular model.
Okay.
So I could be wrong, but I think it's definitely worthy of box art.
Yeah, he's great. Like he's got so many subtle tones in here. Like on the underside of all the steel on his knife and on his like shoulder pad, there's all like that reddish kind of pinky glow.
Yeah.
And then there's like the oxidation streaks on the shield, and a little bit on the sort of the welds and the bolts on like the metal over his head.
Yep.
The light effect on the helmet's really cool too.
Yep.
Yeah, the sound, Jez, the sounds of shredding guitar intensifies.
Yeah, without a doubt. But no, beautiful work there, Mike. It looks awesome. Congratulations.
Very cool.
Next up, we've got Mike Mihalopoulos. Sorry. I wanted to make sure I got this second photo in there because he's doing the
he's doing the Camellia line cloak. Such a cool effect.
Changing. So yeah, this is one of the new scouts. Looking good. Painted up for his Salamanders chapter.
Very good. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool volcanic base too. Such a great effect. Really easy to do. People get terrified of it. It's so easy to do, and it looks awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike's done a great job on this one.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Excellent. Next up, we've got Scott. Scott Reedham has been working on this fun little piece.
I don't really know what it's for or how to even describe it. It's like a tortoise holding like a club, and he's collecting like eggs, but the colors are so cool. Like, great job on the modeling, really subtle tones on like the greens and the yellow around like the eyes and stuff, and all the like the weathering and the edge work on the club and on his shell, like all the different panels of the shell. It's great. It's really, really nice.
Yeah. It does look awesome. And that blue is just that nice little pop that it needs against all those sort of the brown, orange, yellow adjacent sort of colors.
Yeah, like the robin's egg blue he's got going on with all the fading and stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, I just need to slide this aside for a sec. It's like 6 toonies tall.
Yeah, nice.
Very much a work in progress, but
it's really, really neat.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Jeff said, well, I fell asleep. I woke up before the show ended. I am so tired. Yep. Well, I envy you, Jeff. I envy you. I would like to have fallen asleep around about the start of the show as well. Some people will say that I did.
Dave, we're almost there. We're almost there.
I know. We're all stay on target. Stay on.
We gotta just run through the tape. We're almost there.
Yep. But no, awesome work there, Scott.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Looks cool. A lot of fun line work. And tiny.
He looks pretty big too, right? Isn't he like?
Well, he's 6'2" and he's tall.
Oh, sure. So that's like what, 5.5 inches, maybe 6?
It's more than that. Yeah. Probably about 7.
He's cool. He's pretty chonky.
Yeah, looks awesome. And next up, we've got a very cool dragon from Stephen Ryder.
Classic old school red dragon.
Yep. So I love the face on this dragon.
Hmm?
I love the face on this dragon.
Yeah,
it's got a very it's almost a humanoid face because the eyes are kind of facing forward. It's not the animal face where the eyes are on the side.
Yeah.
So it's like an apex predator.
This is a super old sculpt. Like, I don't remember. I forget. I think this is a Grenadier model. I think it is. He's been building it. We've seen like photos of it like in progress, and I know it's a metal kit. I believe it's a Grenadier kit, but it's so funny because it's like the old school sculpting. So it's all done by hand. Like the feet are all different. Like the scales are super cool. The wings are thick because in order to make them not fall apart, you had to cast them pretty thick. So I'm sure he's used some kind of crazy like plumber's epoxy to keep this monstrosity in one piece.
Steven says it's a heavy lead piece. It's a workout paint.
Yeah,
it's Grenadier. It weighs about a pound plus.
He's ridiculous. Okay. It's great though.
Awesome work, Steven. That's great. Steven also painted up this cool evil cleric.
Yeah, this guy's cool.
Yeah. Just that wild face mask on it.
Yeah, it's like a flat face.
Yeah, it's almost
like shield is great.
It's almost like a Rocketeer helmet.
Kinda.
But yeah, the shield with the sigil on it is awesome. Really well done.
I do like it.
But yeah, this is a very small 25mm model. But no, it looks great, Stephen. Very nice. Oh.
He's only painting that to give his arm a break after holding the dragon.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's what I'd be doing for sure. But no, wonderful work. Definitely very, very cool.
Oh man.
That is it for all of the minis that are our community minis to show. So I'm going to stop sharing there. In the group today, this afternoon, Nathan Sorensen posted a whole bunch of photos from the one of the most curious places in Adepticon that not a lot of people know about, but the Grimdark Hallway.
Oh yes, I've heard.
Yes, the infamous Grimdark Hallway. So yeah, there's an area where there's some show offices tucked away behind a booth at the Hive Scum podcast had, which was right next to the Goblin's Hut Dirty Down booth. But a lot of fantastic photos from in that area where there are a whole ton of different games were played. So you can check that out in the group.
Alex at the booth got invited to like hang out and play Necromunda.
Oh,
or
nice.
No, Mordheim?
Mordheim. Yeah. So yeah, all sorts of cool stuff there. What we might do at some point in the future is have some of the guys who ran some games in the Grimdark Hallway onto the show to talk about that, talk about all of the indie gaming that is going on, all that kind of stuff. So that'd be cool to do that. So check those photos out in the group.
Dave, did you get it? Did you get anything fun? Did you have any fun stuff you picked up?
Did I pick up anything fun? I picked up a Harder and Steenbeck Evolution airbrush, which has 2 needles and nozzles. So it has the like 0.2 and the 0.4. So I'll be able to switch between those I'll be able to do a little bit more finer detail airbrushing, hopefully with that. So I'm excited to sort of try that, messing around with that. Thanks to you, I was able to get a copy of the Steel Rook, which is the Cities of Sigmar.
Anything for you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Which is definitely cool. Obviously, I got wonderful bag. I got a stack of brushes from Game Envy. So these are the size 2 phalanx select.
Nice.
Currency sables. I say I got a stack of them, and then I show you 2. That's because originally they were all piled in the tote that my army was in that Jeff was bringing back, but I wasn't exactly sure when Jeff and I were going to meet up to hand over the tote. So I pulled out 2 of them and stuck them in my dice bag to
Nicely done.
make sure I can use them this week when I eventually don't sort of fall asleep as soon as I get home. But yeah, definitely cool. Like, what else did I get? Did I get some? I got some T-shirts. I got a cool staff shirt from Adepticon. I got my Black Site Studios cap. That's what I was going to say about the cap earlier. It makes me look about 20 years younger.
Nice. You're like, greetings, fellow kids.
Yep. As long as as soon as I sort of trim down the gray hairs on the side, I'll look 20 years younger. But
I tell people all the time, you don't get gray hairs, you earn them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've definitely earned these without a doubt. Yep. The Adepticon spray team paint set. There was a whole bunch of cool things.
That's pretty dope.
And yeah. How about you? Did you get some other things?
I mean, obviously, same as you. Like, I got this Austin bag from Trevor, which was cool. You already saw my totally dope water bottle. Threw some more money at Hank and the team. Picked up the Adepticon cutting mat.
Awesome.
Like, I was like, it just looks cool. What else did I get? I got a bunch of patches. Like, Randall at BattleTech gave me one of the 40th anniversary BattleTech patches, and then I picked up the pack of Space Marine helmet patches. I got something else cool. What else did I get? Oh, yeah, I got Captain Ursula Claw from Pop Goes the Monkey, which was cool. I picked up the show special Kroot character.
Right. Yep.
Because I'm going to use him for my Kroot army. But that's in my that's with my army that's driving back, which I'll probably get Friday. And then I got these. I got the first 2 books for Dreams and Machines. It's a new like fancy sci-fi RPG from Modiphius.
Right.
So I was looking forward to that. It's pretty cool. I think that's it. I got some other merch. I picked up a T-shirt from the Adepticon booth. I got this year's T-shirt, and I got a bunch of stuff for Ben, and I ended up getting a hoodie from Equilibrium, and a bunch of priceless memories.
Yeah,
that was my favorite thing. That was my favorite thing I picked up.
Sure. No, definitely cool stuff. I picked up. So as well as getting these 2 copies of Hill King from signed from Malev, I also got a copy of Hill King for myself and a copy of Void Cowboys, which is one of the other zines that the Black Site Studios guys did. Unfortunately, it was too late to get a copy of Nightmare B&B. Hopefully, they'll reprint at some stage.
Where do we want to tell people about
reprint?
Do we want to tell people about the Hill King thing, or do we want to wait until we figure out how to do that?
We'll wait until we figure out how to do that.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for next week. We'll have worked out by then how to do a giveaway for these cool signed copies of Malev's Hill King.
Oh, I got a handful of. I also have to thank Randall. I got a handful of BattleTech minis. Last day of the show, he was like, "Hey, want some cool stuff?" And I was like, "Sure." So he gave me I guess it's like the 4-Up Mad Cat. So instead of being a BattleTech mini that's like this big, it's like it's big. It's like a dreadnought.
Right.
So I gave that to Ben because I was like, if I add it to my pile of shame, I'm never gonna get to it. And then he gave me a bunch of the Alpha Strike mechs. So I kept like 3 of my favorites and I gave all the rest to Ben. I got him one of Hank's giant coffee cup version of this.
Yeah.
It worked out great because I didn't have enough for my suitcase. So I opened it and I put all of the battle mechs in the coffee cup. And I was like, "Hey, Ben." And it was like an Easter present. I was like, "Here, like open it up." So,
awesome.
It was good.
That's cool. Matt Bowles says Adepticon is the friends you make while you're there. Yeah. It is. It's very much that.
It's such a good time.
Awesome. So I think we've come to the end of this evening's show.
We did it.
Hooray. We finished season 4, episode 11. We have 9 more episodes to go in this season. And we're currently messing around with lists of folks to have on to chat to, learn a few more things. April 16th, we'll be doing our final Tale of 4 Warlords. And hopefully we'll have all of this stuff painted by then. But yeah, we've got a whole bunch of people that we'll be talking to. It'll be a lot of fun in the coming weeks.
Yeah, my army should be back here, I think Friday.
Yep.
And then I'll jump back in and get everything knocked out for the 16th.
And get to work for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Thanks for hitting like, for subscribing, and for sharing it with your friends. I'm glad you were all here to see our recap of Adepticon. Fantastic. And we all, I think I'm all ready, Jake.
You all ready?
Ready.
All right. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. Again, huge shout out to, I cannot thank Hank and his team enough. Like, we all go because we all love it, and everybody has a great time. And like Dave said, not only are the events great and the vendor hall is on point. It's my favorite vendor hall and all the cool stuff you can get, but like, it's just such a fun show. We get to see so many people that we know and we like, and we don't get to see all the time. So it's also kind of a family vibe, which I really dig. Like, I get to see all my gaming family. So like that, you can't, there's no way to explain that any better, but again, like, thank you guys so much. But thanks everybody for being here. We really appreciate you guys. And, we're happy to answer questions. If anybody had any questions about anything that they wanted to know about Adepticon, obviously you can message on the Adepticon page, or you can ask Dave and I or anybody, and hopefully we can answer it for you.
Or even better, once this video goes live on YouTube, you can comment below this video.
That's true. That's true. We'll do our best. But we will see you guys next week. We've got some cool stuff lined up. We will let you guys know. But until next week, as always, do not forget to build, paint, play.